So this is our first interactive read aloud that we're going to read today. I'm going to mute all of you so you can listen, okay? So, in an interactive read aloud, boys and girls, we practice doing a lot of thinking, and we do a lot of learning to help make our reading even better. So, part of that work means that we have to do some sharing and talking. So there's going to be points in the story where I'm going to ask you to turn and talk and share with the person next to you. So if you have a mom or dad or brother or sister who's learning with you, you can share with them. But sometimes what some kids like to do is they get a little teddy bear and they share with their teddy bear what they're thinking. So you can do that too. So just have that ready, because I'm going to ask you to turn and talk in some places. Ready? So we're going to read this book. And the title of this book is Be Kind by Pat Zietlow Miller, illustrated by Jen Hill. Now, in this book, boys and girls, one day in class, there's a little girl who spills grape juice all over her dress. And one of her classmates tries everything he can to help her feel better. Now, readers, just by looking at the cover and thinking about the title, I'm inferring, that means I'm kind of guessing, I'm thinking about the words in the pictures, that her classmate is going to try to make her feel better because he wants to be kind to her. So in this book, readers, we are going to think really deeply about what it means to be kind. So let's pay attention to the pictures and the words and try to infer, that means try to guess what the author is trying to say. Because one of the most important things that we're going to be learning in kindergarten is understanding big ideas. That means understanding things that the author is trying to teach us in their book. Are you ready? So again, I'm going to mute all of you just to make sure that you're all listening. Okay. One of my favorite stories too about being kind. Remember, don't unmute. I already hear a lot of you unmuting. Not yet. Wait until I say turn and talk. Okay. Be Kind by Pat Zietlow Miller, illustrated by Jen Hill. Tanisha spilled grape juice yesterday. Oh, look at her face. All over her new dress. Everyone laughed. I almost did too. But Mom always tells me to be kind, so I tried. Readers, I'm wondering what kinds of things her classmate is going to try to do to make her feel better. Because if it were me, if I saw one of my friends have an accident like that, I would probably go up to them and say, hey, are you okay? So I'm wondering what he's going to do. I don't think it worked. I said, purple's my favorite color. I thought Tanisha would smile, but she ran into the hall instead. When she came back, snack time was over. She put on her art smock and didn't look at anyone. Oh, readers, I'm wondering how she's feeling. Because you see how she's running away and crying? And if you look at her face, reader, she still looks really upset. I almost told Tanisha that art was my favorite class, but I didn't want her to leave again. So I painted purple splotches and added some green until I had a bunch of violets, which they're like a little purple flower. While I painted, I thought about Tanisha. Should I have handed her my napkin? Let her borrow my sweatshirt? Spilled my juice so everyone stared at me instead? What does it mean to be kind anyway? So readers, remember, one of the big things we're going to be learning in kindergarten is understanding and learning about big ideas. So think about that. Because as we read, we're going to think about the words and the pictures in the story and try to understand this big idea about being kind, okay? So remember to look at the pictures, think about the words, and think about the pictures so we can understand this big idea about being kind, okay? Maybe kindness is giving. Making cookies for Mr. Rinaldi, who lives alone. letting someone with smaller feet have my too tight shoes? He might run in them faster too. Maybe it's helping. Putting dirty dishes in the sink. Give me a thumbs up if you help around your house and do that kind of things for your family too. Maybe it's cleaning up after Otis, our class guinea pig. He's a messy eater. Maybe, remember, I'm gonna mute all of you so that you don't forget to listen. Maybe it's paying attention. Telling Desmond I like his blue boots. Asking the new girl to be my partner. Listening to Aunt Fanny's stories, even the ones I've heard before. Wow, readers. I'm learning so much about being kind and the different ways that you can be kind, but I'm also noticing that Tanisha's friend keeps saying maybe. And that makes me think, readers, that it's because there's not just one way to be kind. So I wonder, what are some other ways that we can be kind? So I want you to take a moment and think. And if you have a person next to you, turn and talk and think and talk about what are some other ways you can be kind. And remember, if you don't have someone next to you, get your stuffed animal and tell them, what do you think it means to be kind? How else can we be kind? And if you want, and then if you have an idea, I want you to raise your hand and show me so that I can call on you if you want to share.
9.
See, what are some other ways we can be kind? I'm looking for hands if you want to share. What are some other ways we can be kind, that we can be nice to each other? Okay, I don't see any hands. I'm looking everywhere, and that's okay. So I'm guessing, readers, just by thinking, okay, no one's, that's okay, sweeties. So I'm thinking, readers, about something that one of my friends did on my birthday. Because my birthday was in June, right when everything was really crazy. And one of my friends didn't want me to have a birthday where no one came to say hi or happy birthday to me. So she was really kind, and she drove by and she honked in her car and left a little present in front of my door just so I wouldn't feel forgotten. And that to me is being kind. And there are lots of ways that we can be kind to each other. So we really need to think about how it is that we can be kind. Because just like how Tanisha's friend is showing us, there's lots of there's lots of ways that we can be kind. Being kind should be easy, like throwing away a wrapper or recycling a bottle or saying thank you, bless you. My mom says the quickest way to be kind is to use people's names. Hey, Carla. What's new, Omar? Good afternoon, Rabbi Mandelbaum. So, remember, using people's names is a nice way of being kind, not just say, hey, hola, ella. Or just say, hey, you over there. Using people's names can be a nice way of being kind. Okay, I'm going to mute all of you. Remember, don't unmute unless I ask you to turn and talk. Being kind can be hard too, even when you know what to do. Teaching someone something I'm good at is tricky, even when I'm patient. Do you see his face? It's like, oh my gosh, this baby's not understanding how to read, and he's spilling food all over my book. And sticking up for someone when others aren't kind is really hard. You know what, readers, I can relate to this because sometimes I've been in stores where there's someone in front of me who's yelling at the people working there, and I want to stick up for them and say, hey, you know what, you probably shouldn't be yelling, it's not their fault. But then I might get a little scared and think, wait, what if I say something and they start yelling at me? But then I think, you know what would happen if I didn't say anything? I don't know. Maybe I can't. Hold on, I'm gonna mute all of you. Please do not unmute unless I ask you to turn and talk. Maybe I can't solve Tanisha's grape juice problem. Maybe all I can do is sit by her in art class and paint this picture for her because I know she likes purple too. maybe I can only do small things. But my small things might join small things other people do too. Like if you look at the picture readers, the old lady, she forgot her yarn and then the man gave it back. And then the old lady, she made a scarf for someone. And then that little girl gave that scarf away to someone who didn't have anything to wear when it was cold. And together, they could grow into something big. Something really big. So big that all our kindness spill out of our school, spread through the town. Look at all the nice things people are doing for one another. Travel across the country and go all the way around the world. Look at all the kind things that people can do. Look, like when someone comes back from fighting in the war, someone is greeting them with a poster. They're playing together. Someone's helping each other when someone fell. Oh, over here in this picture, look, it's, hey, you forgot your book. Or in right here, look, this lady, she's pregnant, and the man right there, he's saying, wait, you can have my seat. Look at all the wonderful things people can do to be kind, not just in your house, but everywhere too. Right back to Tanisha and me, so we can be kind. Again and again and again. The end. So readers, now we're going to turn and talk and think, do you think that the picture that her friend made helped her feel better? I want you to think, and if you have something that you want to share, I want you to raise your hand and tell me, do you think the picture her friend made helped her feel better? If you want to share, I would love for you to raise your hand so I can call on you, okay? Daniel, do you think it made her feel better? I saw your hand go up.
You think it made her feel better?
Yeah? Why do you, what makes you think that, Daniel?
What do you want to read?
What makes you think that? Because I agree, Daniel, I agree that it did help her feel better because she is putting it up in her room. And I don't know about you boys and girls, but most of the time when I really like something, I like to put it up somewhere where I can see it. So that makes me think that it did help her feel better too. But thinking about our story, boys and girls, Be Kind, what do you think are some big ideas that the author wanted us to learn? Why do you think the author wrote this story? Okay, that's okay, kindergartners. I know this is our first interactive read aloud, so you might be a little bit shy to share. But remember, whether we are online and in class or in school, we're going to do a lot of sharing with our books and our learning. So I'm thinking, readers, that the author wanted us to understand this big idea about being kind, that to be kind, you don't have to do something very big. Sometimes the little small things that you do for people can be enough to help them and make them feel better. I think that's what he was trying to teach us in this book. So thank you for reading that book with me, boys and girls. Can you pat yourselves on the back?